Welcome to Midway Tabletop presents Eclipse Stories, which is going to be a little sibling to Shadow Stories. We haven't asked any of the Midway folks if this is okay. We're just going with it. So I hope you'll go with it too. I'm going to be. Sorry, I should introduce what we're playing. We're going to be playing Scum and Villainy by Stras Asimovic. I'm Devin. I'm going to be the GM. And you can find me at Devin Decibel on Twitter and check out my band, The Y Axes. Who should I introduce first? What about you, Marcus?
Oh, well, hello, everybody. It's your old Uncle Gus, but I'm not in the driver's seat this time. I get to be a player. So my name's Marcus Flores. And you probably have seen me around these parts running games and for Midway Tabletop as well as We Roll Deep. So we'll see how we do.
This is a very important moment in history because Marcus has been my GM for almost a decade. And this is their first time switching places. All right, Badger.
Hi, I'm Badger. I'm relatively new to these parts, but I've known Marcus a long time. Art director for Stygian Fox and CEO of Scum Studios.
Mark. And Alexei.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alexei. Let's see. I'm a writer and a game designer. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to plug. I'm sort of on the other side from Marcus, just because I knew the Midway before Marcus. But I've really enjoyed playing Spirit of 77 with this crew, and I'm really looking forward to this Scum and Villainy game. So
the whole extended universe that we got out of that game was incredible.
Have you guys ever seen this movie called? Yeah.
Go watch the Spirit of 77 videos. They're a lot.
Did you used to watch the old Bronx Ballers cartoon when you were a kid?
We can't get too into deep references right now, y'all, because we're starting something new.
I'm just signposting people to that stuff because it is gold. It is beautiful.
Yeah. Anyways, this game that we're playing today is a sort of a Star Wars, Star Trek. I'm getting kind of blurry. One sec. Space adventure game, leaning a little bit more towards the Star Wars on the weird space magic, a little bit more science, fantasy. It's still blurry. Oh crap! I hate this webcam. It'll do. Yeah, so we're gonna have a crew of scoundrels on their little spaceship as they do crime in the galaxy and fight the man and do space magic stuff. Should we introduce? I'm trying to think. Should we introduce all of your characters first, or do you want to do an in situ thing where we learn who they are in the opening scene?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. While simultaneously being a pawn for the hegemony. Who else wants to introduce their character?
I can go next. We'll go from completely human all the way down to.
Oh yeah. Let's go through the spectrum. Brilliant. We got a spectrum of sentience here.
Jaren is a young woman who was up until pretty recently part of a mercenary outfit that was contracted out to the hedge but was able to break free of her programming. She's a genetically and cybernetically enhanced human, was bred and trained for assassinations, government infiltration, the whole lot, and is on the run from all of that.
Next up in the order of syntheticness, Q8 or
Okay.
Marcus.
Q8. Hello, I'm Dr. Q804, a doctor of xenoanthropology, or at least formerly of the xenoanthropology, the was it Council of Anthropology for the Hegemony, until I found out that all of our findings were actually being used or redacted in order for the hegemony to put more of a hold on various planets, like taking away histories from people, rewriting histories. And I didn't want any part of that. And then I found out they were going to reprogram me and scramble my brain. So I got the hell out of there with the help of Jiren.
Love an anti-colonialism robot.
That's right.
Love it. And in the most robotic of the crew, Vanch 9.
Yeah, Vanch 9 is so he was built by a sect of monks out of bootleg Urbot technology. He and his line of robots were originally designed as sort of like prayer bots. Like they can, pray many billions of times faster and more precisely than organic life forms. So they're clearly the superior answer for like large scale prayer and reflection on the universe.
I like to imagine that each one has like an essential like theological question that they were given.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I've figured out Vanch 9s yet, but like I think that's like, yeah, absolutely. So one by one, each one of these robots has left the monastery, and Vanch is one of the like last few of his line. But he's definitely like, you can take the robot out of the monastery, but it's hard to take the monastery out of the robot because it's programmed pretty deep in there. So he's a robot who spends most of his time in like silent meditative contemplation or asking people lots of annoying questions.
Cool. Well, let's introduce the world that we're getting into. I'm imagining the like Star Wars like text kind of going down the screen. And it's like, welcome to the Procyon sector, a handful of star systems on the obscure edges of the hegemony, but still within its imperialist, omnipresent grasp. An extremity of the known galaxy and a perfect bastion for criminals, mystics, and those who live on the fringes. Though it is particularly of interest to those curious about the the progenitor race whose ancient technology has been the cornerstone of progress, for it is littered with their primordial fingerprints. We zoom in on the Hantu system, a star and collection of worlds that was isolated from the hegemony until a few generations ago when the gate was forced open by the hegemony and they arrived to colonize it. A race of aquatic humanoids known as the Mem fought against the hegemony, but were eventually defeated and brought into its rule. The system is also infamous for being the home of the Hantu Gate, an enigmatic warp gate that has never been opened, leading to immense speculation and interest. And we have a crew on what the game calls a Star Dancer ship. Y'all are illicit merchants, smugglers, and blockade runners. Do y'all have anything to say about that?
Well, I am all one for taking stuff from the hegemony and putting it, well, it can't go back in a museum. There's no museums, but putting it back in the hands of the cultures that it belongs to.
I mean, yeah, museums are colonialist too.
yeah, totally. This belongs in a museum. No.
If doing that fucks with the hedge, then I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And y'all are a crew of folks that are working for a group called the Conclave 01. And they are a group of independent, sentient robots and urbots and all kinds of bots that defend the freedom of a synthetic life, which y'all are all a little bit on the spectrum of. And yeah, they are also very tuned into the technology, all of this ancient alien technology that makes up a lot of the technology that's been co-opted by the hegemony. And they have you to do lots of runs, recovering artifacts and such. And your contact, Rusty, Rusty with a 7 for the T, who is a robot info broker, has told you that there is a job for you in the Hantu system, where the planet Mem is, kind of talked about in the little intro there. It's an ocean planet full of cool, like tropical fish people. And we zoom in on we're kind of orbiting the planet is a place called Marv's Diner. And Marv's Diner is actually called Trade Platform Number 4. And it's a refueling station that has like a little diner associated with it. And I imagine that all of y'all are sitting around a booth in this diner as we open in on the first scene of our movie. Marv is this like really big, like 6-armed, like gruff, like cook guy that's like behind the counter, cooking 3 things at once with his 6 arms. And I bet somebody's like, "Hey, Marv, what time is it?" And he's like, "It's 10 minutes past the Memish orbital cicity. Hours since you should have been back home with your family, you lousy fool." And he's just this like smart talking, loud, big alien guy. And yeah, our crew is like sitting around this diner table. What's everybody doing as you're planning to meet with your next contact? Is it a space hamburger?
They probably have a lot of fish here at this diner if it's on a water planet.
I don't know. It's fish people are the like the world that it's orbiting.
Fish eat.
I mean, fish eat other fish. the guy that Marv was yelling at is like probably one of those like black and white striped like tropical fish, and he's like just a drunk that's always at this diner. This diner is like basically orbiting around Mem like a moon.
Yeah.
I'm probably sitting next to Q8 and looking at the menu with him and going, Q, what's this? What's this? She has.
Oh, yes, you're right. Geez, that's right. I keep forgetting you don't. You haven't eaten anything solid for, I think, since you were what?
Incubated.
Incubated.
We grew up on protein paste for like 21 years.
It's a form of a protein. It is. It's the equivalent of what they call a meatloaf sandwich.
Is it any good?
I would assume it is, but and then he points to just like his glass screen head. I don't partake. But from what I can gather, there's quite a few that really
they probably have robot food here.
Oh yeah, but not
Actually, Vance is eating some robot food, so.
Nigel,
just like a battery that you plug in?
Loaf sandwich thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I take my fork. No, I take my knife and I stab a piece off.
Like this is a silicate paste. It's for my gears and joints.
Wow, that is really good. What are those long things on the plate?
From the planet France.
Oh, well, I'm not going to touch that shit. Oh, okay. Stab. Well, no, they're great.
So after a little bit of time, the bell rings as the diner door opens, and you see a memish woman, kind of memish middle-aged woman with like big round glasses. What's a cool tropical fish? Any
Beta.
thoughts?
Mhm.
Oh, beta fish! Hell yeah!
Mm.
She has kind of like a beta fish look. She has a huge mane of like multicolored fins, kind of coming around her hair, or I guess as in place of her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she comes down to sit at your table. This is she's an ex scholar and now more of like sort of an investigator. Her name is Ula Fain. And she's from Mem, and she particularly studies history and technology, the ancient aliens of this setting. Yeah, she was your contact through Rusty of the Conclave 01. She's your client here, and she sits down with y'all. I kind of imagine her having like Fox Mulder energy. She drives a like an 18-wheeler that she just kind of like lives in, and she's like trying to like investigate all these like mysteries, and she has a big robot with her named Juno, who's like her bodyguard, but he doesn't talk at all, and they come to sit down with
But
you.
Juno is free and sentient.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, she's also friends with the Conclave, being
Right.
like an technology researcher. And also one of the other oppressed classes in this universe. These people that were completely colonized by the hegemony,
Okay.
and resent them for sure. Yeah, I'm glad you can meet with us. This might sound crazy, but I called you because I had a dream, and I usually park my cargo craft out near the Hantu Gate. I've been sitting there and watching it for years. It's a great interest of mine. But I had the wildest dream last night. I had a dream that it opened, and something bright and shining came through it. It was almost blinding. But even in its brightness, I could sense that it was full of distress. It was full of pain. It was full of worry. And then I watched it crash into the oceans of Mem. And you might know that Memish people are sensitive to the way. They're sensitive to the like space magic that is usually associated with the I know this will come to pass. I know this wasn't just a delusion. And I know it's going to come to pass tonight or tomorrow.
What do you want from us?
Kind of like as she's saying this, like there's like TVs behind the counter where Marv is like cooking up stuff, and like a news program comes on really loud all of a sudden, and it says, "This just in: the hegemon has declared his mother, Lasaya al-Nim Amar, an enemy of the galaxy for joining forces with the Night Speakers, who are like a violent mystic cult with kind of dubious intentions, and the 51st Legion, who is like an insurgent offshoot of the hegemonic military, for succeeding in a conspiracy to steal a priceless artifact from the palace at the center of the galaxy. The Church of the Stellar Flame, who's like a zealous group of like they're kind of like priests, but they believe that artifacts are dangerous and should be like kept under a safe keep. And the Guild of Engineers, who a lot of you are already familiar with, who are an advanced group of tech monopolists. And they are on the hunt to track her down for stealing this priceless artifact. And she says, because I don't want either sides of this conflict to get this artifact. I want you to as it lands, to go to Mem and fish it out of the ocean before either of these dangerous groups can get it. So like this huge galactic conspiracy just broke out.
Okay.
The mother of the god emperor of the galaxy stole a priceless artifact from her son, and like aligned herself with these like rebel military people and these like basically evil, basically like the Sith from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And there's no she had a dream, and in the dream Ula said that it was about to land today, or at least in the next day.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
She could even like attune with Vanch to like confirm all of this, being like a signal of the way, not just a normal dream.
Is there any way to track the ship so that we have a good idea of where it's going to impact the planet?
I mean, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Vanch says, the spiral opens horizontally when we inhale and vertically when we exhale.
Yes, but Vanch, where is it specifically? Can you sense that?
Should we catch the ship, or will others catch it first?
We can assume that other people are sensitive to the way might have had the same vision.
Okay. Well, we'll just
I know that it lands in the ocean on Mem.
right. Right.
I think you can land on Mem, but I don't think your ship is a submarine. No.
Right.
Those.
There's a very, very funny Futurama quote that applies here. I'm not a big fan of it. There's a very good one. How many atmospheres of pressure can the ship stand? Well, it's a spaceship, so somewhere between 0 and 1.
I think y'all have some sort of gear. I think that might apply though, at least for like. Yeah, I'd say we could use spacesuits to go diving. Similar concept.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I also am a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, two of us don't really need to breathe, so.
You're not really.
I would too.
So then we've got a general plan that we'll wait till it makes splashdown, and we take what we need, or what's needed as it's down.
Yeah, I don't think our ship is capable of catching it as it's.
Yeah.
I don't think you have the technology for that. No.
Okay.
It would be. Nigel, I like the way you think.
The problem is that you don't know where it's going to land.
Right.
So you might need to wait for it to land and then head there.
Well, we could be in like close orbit and monitor, watch the
Something coming
skies.
in and be fast enough to get there. Then we make. Then we.
Nigel, it's a ball of light from a dream. It can do whatever it wants.
Okay.
Like, it's probably like a quantum vision too. There's probably like a bunch of different ways it could go. Like, yeah, I don't think especially since this is like weird, like associated stuff. Since this gate, this gate is like legendary because it's never been opened. Most of the like jump gates between systems were built by the and then like kind of people figured out how they worked. But this gate has never been opened by the Gemini. And there's like all kinds of speculation about that. Like, did the like break it on purpose so that nobody would open it? Like, it's like mythical, basically. And a lot of people that are, especially the cult of the Seekers, who's the crew that hates y'all, who is also the crew associated with the hegemon's mother, who is, you know, the person who instigated this whole conflict that's going on. They are particularly interested in trying to open this gate.
Okay.
The planet itself is like an ocean all the way around. It has like weird like opalescent spires that kind of come out of the ocean, and there are some like hegemons, like stations, like stations of like non-Memish people that don't live below the ocean, that like kind of have, you know, little civilizations like built on these spires. But most of the Memish civilization is on the ocean floor. Well, actually, no. I think they're like amphibious. I think they live on like little like floating things that are like partially submerged. I think that's cooler. Yeah, I think that's cooler.
Okay. Right.
So, do we want to start a heist and do the engagement roll? Is that?
Well, let's wait for Badger to get back.
Yeah,
One of the things you can do is gather information if y'all want to use any of your attributes to try to like roll for some info, or roll to get people to help, or things like that. Any sort of preparations for the mission that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Who in particular would you want to consort with? Ha. Yeah, I mean, just from the like broad overview of things, basically everybody involved in this like conflict sucks. So like the people that explicitly hate you because you stole an artifact from them that gave you the cloaking device on your ship, that's the faction that's kind of setting all of this off. And then there's basically the like Sith, and then the angry cops on her side, and then on the side of the hegemon is like the crazy church. Yeah. And who is the other people that? And the Guild of Engineers are like some of the most powerful people in the world. So like everybody involved in the conflict sucks. Yeah, but you don't know what she stole from her son. So you're trying to consort with one of your friends from your just describe what this is first. What you think this looks like. Okay. Are you the type of person that's like talking to somebody on the phone while they're talking to somebody in real life as well? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your playbook is the speaker, so it makes sense. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So are you more of like a diplomat or a bureaucrat? Okay. Yeah. And
Kind of like a lobbyist, maybe.
But a rebel on the weekends. All right, so yeah, who are you reaching out to? Yeah, yeah. I think the first thing they ask you, oh, did you hear the speech last night from the prime envoy? Mm. It was quite moving and full of bullshit. So what do you want from me? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think anybody in your circles would like know about this kind of stuff. This is like weird, like mystic dream stuff. But like you definitely could get some secret information about the like broader situation if you wanted to. Okay. Is there anything that you like have questions about in terms of any of the stuff that I've set up so far? Yeah. Okay, let's make a roll and let's see what kind of information you can get. So you're trying to consort with a friend. What's your score in consort? Okay, so that means that you'd roll 2 dice. If you want to, you can push yourself to get extra dice, but you might want to save your stress for the mission. That's bad. So you get limited information. Yeah, let's see. I want to look at a name. Church of the Stellar Flame. So here's the thing. Like normally a 2 or a 3 is really bad. In the like the way the dice work is that a 1 through 3 is a complete failure, a 4 through 5 is a success with a consequence, and a 6 is a full success. And you always take the highest die that you rolled. So like if this was like an action roll in the mission, that would have been a complete failure and bad stuff would have happened. But since this is a gathering information roll, the stakes are a little bit lower. That just means that I'm going to give you limited information. But yeah, I guess the information that you get is that I saw the noble high priestess Alana on the airwaves, and or I don't know what kind of like mass like communication networks do you think there are? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So like the like Pope of the Church of the Stellar Flame basically said that they were heading towards the Hantu system. So she basically kind of like lets on that like all of that conflict that you saw on the TV, that is all going to be culminating in the system that you're in at the moment. She wore her crown with the crystal antlers. Anybody else have any prep work that they want to do before we jump in?
I will try to gather information with Attune.
Okay.
And like, I think that like Vanch 9 is sitting in the booth and just has the like their eyes just go white and they start emitting like a small hum as their whey processor spins up. And they blank all of the rest of their processes and just like stare at the universe with this sort of perfect machine openness. And yeah. And I have 2 in Attune.
Okay.
So I roll 3 dice and take the highest.
If you have 2 in Attune, that means you roll 2 dice to take the highest.
2 dice and take the highest. Okay. Oh, that's
like what would you say is sort of the question that you're asking the universe?
I mean, so like narratively, I think Vanch 9 is very much like literally trying not to ask a question. It would be like antithetical to what they're doing to like ask a question. But I think that like what I the player want is like at least maybe even like tapping into the dream that that Ula saw, or like a focus on the gate and of the like the way of the gate. That sounds real good.
Okay. Yeah, give me a 2d6 roll.
I rolled a 6 and a 5, so I got
6. Oh wow, okay, full success. Yeah, you're able to like almost like triangulate on that vision, having already like gotten a reflection of it from Ula. And I feel like you see almost like the path of the object, and you see where it lands, and it's so in the oceans of Mem, there's like these big spires that jut out from beneath the water, and there's one place where there was like 5 of them, all in kind of like a pentagon almost, and then they carved those spires into like statues of like Memish ancestors. So this is some location on Mem, and you see the bright light like fall into the middle of the pentagon of these towering, like they're almost like looks like glass, but like colorful glass.
I want Vanch 9's mouth to open and this little like ticker tape to come out, and they just like rip it off and put it on the table, and it's like, these are the coordinates.
I want to find some gear, specifically underwater combat suit and weapons specifically designed for underwater
Cool
combat.
In this system, there's like a let me see. There's like a thing that sounds perfect for this in this system. Jarek's Junkyard, a free-floating mass of ships and parts connected via magnetism and cabling. If you're looking for equipment on the cheap, the junkyard is your place, though it'll likely be missing a piece or unreliable. Jarek also buys, but it's a canny haggler. So there's like a bunch of just space junk all like taped together, floating around in the system.
Okay. And if we can maybe procure some sort of small like sub type of vehicle.
Okay. What type of action do you think you're doing here? Based off of the like action stats on your sheet.
I just like to note that canny haggler sounds super dirty, but absolutely isn't.
I mean, it could be.
When you
Depends
said
what
it,
you're
I was
haggling.
like, whoa. Okay. But that's not
50 credits rewarded for a Kenny Hagler.
Maybe command.
Okay, so you're like, trying to make your presence known and seem like you're important, trying to get a good deal, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. In particular, what are you trying to get?
Underwater wetsuit or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that seems reasonable.
Weapons and a small submersible that can house the 4 of us and some cargo.
I think you'd be able to get like suit attachments for your spacesuits that let you dive, but like
Okay.
you have access to weapons already.
And
Okay.
Devin, is this like blades in the sense that if I wanted to assist him in that role and add a die, I would take like a some sort of stress in order to assist?
Yeah, exactly. You could take 1 stress to help with this role.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to do that. I'm kind of palling along with the Jaren and just kind of tinkering, like looking at all this stuff and kind of pink, 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 pink. You know.
Hey, don't touch that.
Oh, sorry. It's interesting though. Yeah.
Actually, no. I want Jarek, the guy who runs the shop, to be played by Lawrence Fishburne.
Right. You do not want to touch that. Yeah, so I'm gonna help Jaren a bit. I think more like if we're trying to come across as like a command thing, then I am going to try to assume some of the protocol as one of the still a member of the Anthropology Council.
Okay. So you're trying to make both of you sound important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And official.
And official, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Give us a roll.
So I have 1 tick in command. Does that mean I roll 1 die?
Yes. And you
But
get two. You get 2 because of Marcus's help.
2 total.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 and a 5.
5. Okay. Yeah, you're asking for let's see. Yeah, you're trying to get some attachments to your spacesuits to be able to dive. I think what you get is like basically a limited use thing. So it probably has like an oxygen tank that you attach to your suits, but it has like a limit on how much oxygen it has in it. So you're gonna have to like be quick about it. But it is gonna work perfectly for your spacesuits.
Okay. Yep. And what about the sub?
I think that's too much to ask for.
All right, fair enough.
That would be something that you would have to like invest in like between missions, I think.
Okay. Can't rent one.
Nah.
All right.
Cool.
We're a player agency already.
I mean, I'm just trying to like think about what makes sense in the situation.
No, it's cool. I'm just kidding.
Vanch like puts their hand on Jaren's hand and is like, how many of our previous vehicles have also met a death? Could you guarantee the submarine's life?
No, bag.
Is that directed at me?
Yeah.
Vanch as a fellow machine, I don't know that everything is sentient, or is everything sentient?
Is everything sentient?
Sentience is different to the
Chew on
blade
that
of
for a while,
grass.
Vanch.
I know.
Wait, maybe we need to
I
carry
sent
him
him
out
to-
of here while he's processing.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get those shoulders.
All right, so why don't we do the engagement roll?
Shuffling him out.
Yeah. Why don't we do the engagement roll, which kind of like sets up where we are when we get into the action, and then take a break there.
Okay.
Let me find. I need to ask y'all a list of questions. Where are they? I should have had this ready to go in advance.
It's all right.
Engagement roll. Here it is. Okay. Is this operation? So, okay, wait. First, we need to come up with the type of plan it is. So we need to decide between assault, deception, infiltration, mystic, social, or transport. So we don't need to come up with the discrete details of the plan. We just need to know like the broad idea of the plan. So there's assault, which is to do violence to a target. And then the detail that you need to establish is the point of attack. There's deception, which is to lure, trick, or manipulate. And the detail is the method of deception. The infiltration is going to be to trespass unseen, and you need to know the point of infiltration. For Mystic, you need to engage in Mystic Way or power, and the detail is the arcane power. Social is to negotiate, bargain, or persuade. The detail is the social connection. And then transport is to carry cargo or people through danger, detail the route and means. In this case, you know where it's going to be, and you know that like other people are probably going to be like heading for it as well, probably simultaneously. So like, I guess those are the things that you need to consider in terms of coming up with a plan that makes sense.
I think either infiltration or transport.
Infiltration
Yeah.
was mine too.
Cool. Yeah, so just like try to get in and get out without being seen
Yeah.
by other parties.
Yeah.
I think our point of entry is some place that we think the like the hegemony eye, the hedge eyes are not going to be looking at.
Mhm.
So that's our like, we think that there's like a weakness in their like, their kind of defense intel, and we're going to try to like slip through it. This is where, but
Hmm.
I mean,
there's non-fish people on the planet. This is a
Yeah.
planet that has been colonized by the hegemony.
I mean, if you want a Reagan mask, I love the idea that Nigel goes through this adventure with a fucking Reagan mask on.
Yeah. It just flips through the
Reagan
hair.
is the hegemon.
Yeah. Well,
What? Oh, God.
mother here says we should take this precious piece. I think I think one of the key is in their infiltration that's going to help us is that there's so many hands and so many eyes looking to get this thing that because we're such a small operation, they're so busy.
Also,
trying
you have
to
a cloaking
outfox
device on
one
your
another.
ship.
We
Yeah.
do have a cloaking device on our ship. I had forgotten about that. We don't have fake transponders, but we have a cloaking device.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So
What's
it can be
the, like-
close by. It can't be under the water, but I mean, it'll be close by. So.
Right.
Is
What's
there-
the point?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. This isn't the extensive planning, but we got the idea planning.
I'm gonna say no because a grappling hook is one of the upgrades that you can get for your ship.
Yeah.
I bet that's something that we could like do a roll for like in the moment.
Yeah. Remember, all we're trying to figure out right now is like where we're getting in. Once we start, we can always do flashbacks to like have stuff like all this planning we can do during the mission when we're like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had like the explosive charge that like sends the balloon up, and then
Exactly,
we like,
yeah.
flashback to us getting that, and then we use it. That's So
That is an actual rule in the game. If you ever want to have a flashback, you can like have prepared for a specific circumstance.
yeah.
Is there a way that we could prevent the other factions from finding out where the location of the artifact is? I mean, we can hide ourselves, but I'm wondering if we can obscure.
Probably not. Like the space magic is so much bigger than everybody. Like it's something that everybody can kind of tune into if they're sensitive to it.
Okay.
Vance would probably like not be down with an attempt to do that too. Like that seems pretty bad. What's the blind eye? What's the point that they're not looking at that we're gonna slip through?
I guess one thing that you might know if you looked into what this site was, you actually roll for anything here, but you okay, without doing any rolls, you would know that this is like a holy site to the mem.
Does Ula comment on the coordinates? Because like that was basically all Vance said, but like she might know what those coordinates mean or are.
Oh yeah,
Or
if you explain that to her for sure.
Q8 is a xenoarchaeologist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a monument called the Elders, and it is like a pilgrimage point. Like a lot of people go there to like. There's like a staircase on each of the statues, and people like go into the like open palms to like pray and meditate.
That's I was thinking when you said there was a holy site, then we can, our entry point is we can pose as pilgrims making a tribute. And again, like while the bigger eyes are on one another, waiting for one to make a move, they're never going to notice such a little thing like us, like slipping into the water, getting down into that point and preparing for when it touches down to get it.
Also, from her descriptions of the place that like in the center, like deep below the ocean, is a bismuth ziggurat, like an asymmetrical, like weird spiral crystal that makes a pyramid. And it kind of glows, and like people kind of like meditate on it.
Ooh.
Not meditate on it, but like meditate like presence. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think just from this conversation, the like main thing that you get from this is that the monument is a Memish site, like the statues are a Memish site, but the like ziggurat that it's under the ground is an Ur temple, so it's an ancient alien temple. All right. So are we going with the posing as pilgrims plan?
I like that.
That seemed like the strongest idea of the bunch.
So the point at which we infiltrate is like some gate where pilgrims come through to see these holy sites.
I mean, it's just 5 statues in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, okay.
There's no like gates or anything.
Yeah.
So you could like land your ship next to one of the statues and like cloak it and then get out and pretend to be pilgrims.
Yeah, and we can have all of our stuff is under cover in what looks to be like a reliquary or some offerings, and then get in. Yeah. Flowing robes. So many robes.
Yeah. Cool. So to do the engagement roll, we're going to assemble a dice pool based on the answers to a couple questions.
Ooh.
So is the operation particularly bold or daring? Not really.
I mean, if it's all those eyes on the thing, then I would think it would be. Unless
I mean, we would be stealing this thing out from the noses of all these
several. Like,
all right, I'm convinced.
Okay.
All right, so you start with 1 die for luck. So then that's 2 die for being bold or daring. Is the operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, that would have been a minus die if we said yes. But does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? We don't really know who the target is, but the target could be any of these assholes. Not particularly. I think that's going to be an answer to another question. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think that exposes like a vulnerability or weakness.
Right.
And is the target strongest against this approach? Do they have particular defenses or special preparations? Also, no. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? No. Any enemies or rivals interfering? Not that you know directly. Okay. And is there any other elements that you want to consider? I'd say like having this vision would be a bonus die there. So that'd be 3 dice.
Maybe having proper equipment for dealing with underwater.
Yeah. I think that just all of the factors that you've sort of gathered in the gathering information phase. I'll give you an extra die for that.
Okay.
So that means that
Four
somebody has to roll
altogether?
3 dice. It could be any of you.
Oh, 3 dice. Okay, I thought it was
Yeah.
4 dice. Okay.
So Marcus is on it.
I'll roll 3 dice.
Do it. Our first engagement roll. So excited.
Don't fuck it up, Marcus.
Well, I didn't. We're taking the highest, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a 5, a 4, and a 2.
Perfect. So what that means is that we're gonna start the action in a risky position.
Mhm.
So we'll figure out what that looks like. Let's go on a little 10-minute break. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. I'll see y'all in 10.
10 minutes.
Yeah, welcome back. So Marcus, you frozen or are you just in that one position?
Yeah, I was just in that one position.
Okay, that caught me off guard for a sec. Yeah, so last we left off, we did the engagement roll. We got a partial success, which leads to a risky condition, a risky situation in the start.
Risky business.
Yeah, I think what happens is, yeah, y'all kind of like wait in the low orbit for this thing to drop down. I guess no, you know where it's gonna hit, so you could like head out there kind of early in the morning.
Did we have to plan our like loads or anything like that, or is that like a different?
Yeah, that was basically that was gonna be one of the things that we were gonna do right now.
Okay.
Let me describe the situation, and then we'll pick our loads, and then we'll start making rolls to do stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, the situation. When you get there, there seems like there's a lot of pilgrims here already. It seems like a lot of people were drawn through psychic energy or through having similar dreams. Like people are here. There's lots of like memish people. There's lots of like just other spiritual types that are hanging out, starting to climb these statues to like get in meditation positions on the statues. And you see the thing land, and you see you witness this like miracle alongside all these other pilgrims. And if any of y'all are like around to see it when it hits, do you think you're like waiting on the ship, or do you think you try to incorporate yourselves amongst the pilgrims? Yeah, you probably have your like suits ready to go, like right on your ship, so you can run back in and put them on and dive down or something like that.
Yeah. And you know, I'm kind of like Q8 is can't help themselves. You know, they're also absorbing the ritual and the situation, and they're like, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably
sorry, we're here to do something.
There's probably like an energy to this that none of y'all have felt before. Maybe Vanch, but like there's definitely like people like, you know, getting down with the way. People are vibing on this like chaotic space magic. Yeah, and you see this bright light in the sky, this like basically meteor that crashes down into the ocean in the center of these 5 statues. And then you see as the light, it's like blinding as it comes down. You can't make out anything from it. But it, you know, it seems like it's a size that could fit on your ship. But yeah, as it hits and descends into the water, you also see this like weird miraculous thing happen, almost as if the like bismuth pyramid that's kind of like lit up by like bioluminescence and stuff below the ocean, it almost like absorbs the light. Like nothing breaks, nothing's shattered. But y'all are in a risky position to start with. So what I think what that looks like is that other forces have arrived here around the same time. And you see a like jet black like spaceship kind of like violently land in the waters below, and people start to storm the towers, or not the towers, the statues. And you see the what looks like the night speakers. These basically these like evil mystic people, and they're kind of taking on. They're kind of putting on a hegemonic air, like they're pretending to be like hegemonic officials, basically, or they're walking around with like hegemonic authority, and they are starting to forcibly remove pilgrims. They're like basically like saying things like, "Oh, this is an unlawful conglomeration of people. You don't have the right to gather here." Like they're basically interrupting all of these people from their ritual and basically trying to clear everybody out so that they can, you know, do their thing here. So it's a very hectic situation. People are yelling, some people are fighting back, and it's like, you know, chaos is breaking out.
We can use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
You want to try to fight back against one of these guys and get their...
right? And it seems like they're I mean, they're the Night Speakers. They're not the hegemony, so they're using that ruse themselves, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But like this is a heavily colonized planet. Any sort of outsiders coming in here and putting their force on
could say
them
that they are, yeah.
yeah. They, you know.
Are they
Yeah.
armed?
Yes, and they are dominating the situation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I bet their ship like lands on the water, like right in the middle of the statues. Like they're taking over this situation.
I don't know if all four of us could take on this group.
God, no. Well, but the original plan's infiltration, and it's a risky situation. I'm one for stealthing around them and getting into the water ourselves. They're probably be using larger devices. So if we could just be us four individuals, to get there, maybe.
And my training would tell me that the more we can do to make ourselves invisible, the better chance we have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I less want to go off of like Star Wars kind of like Jedi and Sith stuff. I'm kind of imagining more like David Lynch's Dune, like just weird like laser weapons and like weird like polygonal shields and stuff like that. I feel like the space magic is a little bit more of that vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe some guy has like some weird voice box and they yell at somebody
Right.
and like blow them off of the statue.
Yeah, so all of us would know too that it's not just like, oh, there's these people called the Night Speakers. I guess they do this thing like probably when they land and we see what they are, we're like, oh shit, that's Night Speakers.
I'm imagining it's almost like I like to think of like really weird spaceships. So maybe it's like almost like a spherical craft that has like black spines kind of coming out of it. It looks
So more
like a
like
spike ball or something like that.
Jodorowsky's Dune with a little bit of Lynch in Dune.
Yeah.
So like
I love weird because the spaceship can be anything because there's no like you don't have to worry about drag or resistance in space. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just
well, there's like a hatch that comes off probably.
it's like this sea urchin looking thing.
Sea urchin, like yeah. Our destination's underwater, so we again probably don't want a space. I think we avoid contact with them. We go into the water like with as little of a splash as possible. We're right in the middle of a melee. If we can slip down and get like down to the thing now and have it gone by the time they start getting down, then okay, here's a question. What can we do that will distract them on the surface?
Right.
Let me help you figure this out with like a mechanical perspective.
Yeah.
So often a way that challenges like this are sort of gotten through in Forged in the Dark type games is that I'm going to set a challenge clock. So I'm going to say a 4-step challenge clock to like get through this crowd as like all of this chaos is happening.
Okay.
And
so we're
what that
concentrating
means
more on
is that
getting
there's
through the crowd.
Yeah, there's 4 ticks that you need to get on this clock to like get through this challenge, basically. And if you succeed on something that is standard effect, that's 2 ticks. If you succeed on something that's great effect, that's 3 ticks. If you succeed on something that's limited effect, that's 1 tick. Basically, it's going to be two actions with standard effect will get you through this challenge.
Yeah, that could be one.
Yeah, whatever you think like is narratively cool here. Okay, so however, my job as GM is to like listen to your plans and be like, is that going to be limited, standard, or great effect? And I think if these like violent mystics are here like pushing around these holy pilgrims and you're gonna go up and complain to them, I don't think that's going to be very much effect.
Is there a bot? Is there a bot that we could hack to have it go haywire and just start going crazy? Maybe not in a harmful way, but just to start running around, beeping and waving its arms or appendages.
Yeah, like I imagine they probably have like synthetic people amongst their ranks. If you want to try to like hack somebody, though, that might be kind of morally questionable based off of who your colleagues are.
I like the idea. What if there are let's see, what kind of robots would you find at a pilgrimage? What if there are like big food repository bots that like feed pilgrims who come here? They're like big vending machines, and you could hack one to like spew all of its content everywhere, getting like yeah, like sludge all over the cultists.
Just initiate food distribution and maximize output.
Exactly.
I still think this is like an important like moral question though.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Is that something that a group of robots would do?
But what if it's not? If it's not taking over? If we are consorting with it, so it's more of a persuasion versus a charm person.
100%. I fucking love this. Yes, right. Absolutely.
And so instead of rolling hack or rig, we'd be looking at consort as.
So you want to radicalize a food bot to throw food at all these evil wizards.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want the moral quandary, we could try to hack into the temple's sewage system and have it overflow.
Oh. I don't think there's any bathrooms.
Yeah,
these are statues in the middle of the ocean.
Oh.
Is that a concert?
There's no souvenir shop.
Go exit through the gift shop. Yeah, I think I think instead of the idea like the D&D idea of like, oh, we're going to just cast charm person, it's more like let's use our persuasion skills to see if we can radicalize robots to uprise and at least to form a like, hey brother, I need you to do me a favor.
Okay. Yeah. So you find this big food robot in the crowd. What do you say to it?
Well, gosh, you're so much more on the way, Vanch, but I guess oh god, what do I got? What do I have in order to help?
The only heart or mind I could persuade is mine.
Yeah. Gosh, the only because I don't have consort. I'm a doctor, not A. So when you push yourself to roll your doctor rating while performing a very different action, say which patient, research, or posting taught you this trick. So basically it's like a, use this for
okay,
other
one
things.
Of the best moves in the entire game.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna I'll try to use that skill, and I'm gonna speak with the food repository bot and
because this is definitely a robot that has not been in a fight before.
Right. Yeah. No. I'm not.
They probably could exert some big force. They're probably like a large thing, and they could fight, but like that's not something they've ever considered before.
Right.
Um, will that be more of like a sway kind of thing if you're trying to like convince it to do something rather than, you know, like making actual
Consort
like,
with it,
connection
like
it?
work with it versus deceive it, deceive them.
Sway's not just lying. Sway's also like being convincing, but it
Mhm.
like convincing in a way that's like, I care about the direct logic here. But I don't care about your feelings. Unless you're, you know, trying to manipulate their feelings, that would also be sway.
Right,
But
right. Okay.
consort is like more open, honest communication, whereas
Right.
sway is more like logic and lies.
Yeah, then I would I don't have it within me to necessarily deceive, especially a fellow robot. I would explain that we desperately need your assistance to provide cover. Do not ever put yourself into danger, but at least dispense food and back up and away. And
yeah. So do you think that's consort?
I think it's more in a consort. Yeah.
What's your score in consort?
I don't have anything in consort, so it would have to be.
Do you want to help Nigel do this?
Yeah, I think so. Which would be another stress for me or for them.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you want to just like let Nigel take care of it.
I want to make sure we succeed, so I want to assist. So I think it sounds a little better to kind of step up as all this confusion is going on, and it's just a scene of like calling over one, and you know, and speaking to them, you know. So I'll take. So
Nigel, how do you take
the stress?
So Nigel, how do you take the charge here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the night speakers are like moving through the crowds, like things getting really intense. That's a good question. What I'm going to do is look at your sheet. Oh, I totally forgot. This is an important thing for the game before we make any rolls. Everybody needs to choose their load. I always forget this step of these games. So on the sheet, there's a area that says load right underneath where it says spend a gambit on the right side of the sheet underneath all of the stats. I mean, you're going to choose either light, normal, or heavy load. And that kind of like describes like how much crap you brought with you. You don't need to define what you brought with you, only the capacity that you brought with you. And then throughout the mission, you can say anything in your either your items list for your playbook, which is in the like gray region on the sheet, or any of the like general stuff in the white region of the sheet. So all those boxes that have different items throughout the mission, you can just say like, I declare a heavy blaster, and then you tick off 2. And basically what you decide as your load is the like maximum amount of things that you tick, that maximum amount of boxes you can tick.
And things that are italicized, do they
are free?
Oh, they're free. Okay.
And is it
things that are italicized are 0 load?
Is it the same way like the heavier load you go, the more obvious you're looking?
Yes, exactly. If you're heavy, you're like wearing like armor and shit. You look like you're ready to throw down.
Yeah, people will notice you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But like I said, you don't declare any of the items yet. You leave all of the items blank. You just declare the load, what your max capacity is, so that like when situations come up, you can say like, oh yeah, I prepared for this. I have a detonator.
What's the like? Isn't there a downside to having a heavy load?
Absolutely, yeah. That just gives me sort of like narrative flavoring for how I can give you consequences. If you're heavy load, I could say that like, oh yeah, well you try to dive down now, and now you start to sink. Like I can. It gives me ways to fuck with you when you like get consequences.
Yeah, or they notice lots of heavy ordnance strapped to your body.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So if you pick, there are a few items that have 2 boxes instead of 1. Does that mean that you can choose between, say, light armor and heavy armor, or do you have to take both boxes?
However many boxes the thing is how many you need to tick to do the thing.
To meet.
Okay, so like a heavy blaster counts as 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be like a big ass rifle.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's 2, right?
Yeah, it's 2.
Ooh, that is true. So yeah, if like that's why I brought this up, is that if you were going to try to like clandestinely communicate with somebody, that might be like an item that you does the speaker have anything free?
Yeah.
Oh, you just have 2 luxury items. You have 3 luxury items. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Nice. You just have a nice bottle of Vulcan mead or whatever.
The right way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Also, before we do this, I want a house rule. I want to make your spacesuits 1 instead, since you're getting like special like diving suits, which would be probably less cumbersome than spacesuits.
Okay.
All right.
And just because I want y'all to have more options of things you can do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you probably like identified that this like big robot was like in the middle of this crowd. These night speakers are kind of like coming in and they're like panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's do the roll. So Q8 is Q8 is helping. You can either get, so you have 2 in consort, right? So you have an option here. So either you can get a 3rd die from the help. So this is going to be a risky standard action. So what that means is that risky is going to define like how hard I hit you back if you get consequences. Standard means that you're going to get 2 ticks in this clock to get out of this fracas. You could either take Marcus's help to add to the dice to get 3 dice to do it, or you could take Marcus's help to make the effect greater and push it to great effect, which would get you 3 ticks in the clock instead of 2. But it's a 4-tick clock, so like you might want to hang out with the 2. But I just wanted to make sure that mechanic was understood.
Yeah, I think we could go 2 and 2. It'd be fun to go 2 and 2, and then see what Vanch and Jaren are doing for them to have a scene to knock the other 2 out. Would be nice.
Yeah.
If we do knock it out.
Cool. So you're gonna roll 3 dice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's the worst thing that could happen. Okay, no, but you do have options here. So risky consequence. I can break this up into like minor consequences as well. Let's see. You're trying to help this robot. What would make sense as a consequence here?
We're trying to bro down with this robot, this food dispensary bot that's, the size of those like those old like newspaper hutches that people would, the vendors would hand out magazine and newspaper in.
The sunglasses hut.
Yeah, it's like this 20 or this 12-foot tall cylindrical thing.
Yeah, I think this robot starts to like panic.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think they like they bump into you, like they're freaking out, and they want to run, especially because the like night speakers are sort of coming in on you. And I'm going to split up the risky consequence into 2 separate consequences. So one of the consequences is you're going to take 1 harm, a level 1 harm, as this robot basically like freaks out and like barrels into you to get away, and you get knocked on your back. So I'm gonna say you get level 1 harm, like mild concussion, as you get smashed by this robot. And then the other consequence is that like you are now your situation is getting worse. Like the night speakers are like, they notice y'all in the crowd as being like you know, you don't quite fit in. So I think so what happens here is so those are two separate consequences that I've given you. At any point, if you want to be like, no, that doesn't happen, there's a thing called a resistance roll. So any consequence that I give y'all, y'all can try to resist that consequence and like make it not happen. And the way you do that is, so in all of your stats, there's like the horizontal scores for the different actions, but then all for the groupings of stats, there's like a vertical score of like how many dice you have in that topic overall. And that's how many dice you can roll to resist things that are related to that consequence. And basically how that works is you take 6 minus your highest roll, and then that's how much stress it costs you to resist that consequence.
Okay.
So yeah, and everybody has that like 9 tick stress clock, and when that fills up, like you get basically like KO'd in the situation. You don't die, but you like get knocked out of a scene, and you take a trauma or a negative personality trait that is permanent.
Nice.
So
and then it just depends on how we avoid the stress. Is it through insight, prowess, or resolve, or it's always resolve?
It depends on the situation. It depends on the consequence that you're trying to resist and what narratively makes sense for it. Here's the thing about how harm works. So if you take the like mildly concussed harm, next to the level 1 harm, it says like lesser effect. That means that if you try to roll something where being mildly concussed would like get in the way of your roll, you're going to get less effect. So if it was a standard effect, it would become limited.
It'd be like...
It depends. How do you think you would resist being knocked over by a big robot? So I think prowess would make the most sense. Yes, it'd be 2 dice. Yeah.
I see.
No.
You should have to take a devil card.
Oh, wait. Oh, perfect. You take 0 stress. That's the best result. The other thing I was going to say is just to make sure that it's on the table so we remember is that y'all have 2 gambits. And gambits are like a party resource that you can spend to get an extra die on things. And that can apply to anything. And you generate gambits if you roll a 6 on a risky thing. So we haven't been in that situation yet, but anytime you roll a 6 on a risky thing, you generate another gambit. Cool. Yeah, but you've made no progress towards your goal of getting out of this crowd safely, and the night speakers are still like basically circling in on you.
They're more attuned.
Okay.
All right. I don't know why. Every time I've been running these kind of games lately, everybody in my parties have been like rolling horribly. It's so stressful as a GM. Like, yeah, the odds of rolling all failures on like 3d6 is pretty low, but it seems to happen a lot. Yeah.
How many night speakers are there here?
Enough to take y'all if y'all don't do something.
All right.
These are like trained like mystics that have a dubious moral compass. They'll fuck you up if they want to. That chaos could still be challenged or channeled in a way if y'all want to.
Um. Hmm. Hmm. No, I think like I don't have anything good for Vance at the moment. I apologize.
So the food robot is acting crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it almost
Stitches.
knocked Nigel over.
It's panicking. It's going to bolt. It's like, it.
I'm gonna scream in a very loud, shrill voice. Look out! The killer robot is gonna get us all! Praise be Mars!
I don't know. You trying to roll like a sway here or something?
Sure. Which is not. I don't have anything in it.
I mean, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying that's kind of what that sounds like.
Okay.
Scramble is like directly fighting.
Yeah, that wouldn't apply.
I mean, you could try to like trade some fire with these guys if you want to like try to make a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, how about this? I'm gonna swap out a little bit of gear. So I have a detonator in my kit. Does that include an explosive?
Let me see.
Extremely deadly explosive weapon, fits in the palm of your hand and can be thrown. Takes care of those shielded doors. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a detonator. While the robot is doing its thing, I'm going to wait for a moment where the crowd's attention is drawn to that and toss my detonator away from other people, and then set it off at a close.
Just trying to make a big boom to like make a big distraction.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What action do you think that is?
Scrap. Rig, maybe.
Yeah, rig is rig explosives. So I feel like that would be the.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
rig,
especially
then.
since it's not like you're not trying to hit anybody in particular. You're just trying to make an effect.
Right.
Yeah, rig makes sense.
Okay.
That would be a risky standard roll.
Okay.
So you have one die in that. You can push yourself to get an extra die. That means you would take 2 stress on your stress track, or you could get help, or you could just roll it flat.
I don't think anybody could really help me.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that I'm letting you all know how the game works.
Right. No, I appreciate that. I'll push myself and I'll take the 2 stress.
Cool.
A distraction from a distraction? I mean,
4 and a 3.
Wheels within wheels here.
All right. Since I want to be a fan of the players and move the story along, I'm going to say that just a success here is going to move y'all ahead. Yeah, so a 4 is a success with a consequence. So a 4, let's see. Risky consequence. I don't want to hit y'all that hard yet. No.
Maybe I accidentally get caught in the blast and take some damage.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Like, I think like as you're throwing this thing in the like sky, it like blows up a little bit as it's like leaving your hand, and you get like a singed hand. And I'm gonna make that a level 1 harm, singed.
Okay.
And then the other half of the consequence. So like basically, if it's a controlled situation, a risky situation, or a desperate situation, I can like make the consequences either like one consequence that's risky or two consequences that are controlled. I can kind of like, there's a little bit of math where I can make one bad consequence into two like lesser consequences.
Yeah.
And the other consequence is that the Night Speaker's plan is starting to like move ahead. And I don't know if you see this, but like anybody that's like looking down will see that the ship has like a bunch of people with like diving suits have basically come out of the ship and are starting to descend towards the ziggurat. So the Night Speakers are already on their way to try to like get down to the temple. But y'all start to get through. They're just like slightly ahead of you.
Truly, it is the unexpected things in life that are important.
Do you just have like a platitude generator on open on your computer?
Oh no, I'm just doing these like off the top of my head.
Nice.
Yeah. No, but Vanch 9 does run extremely advanced platitude generation software.
Got it.
Yeah. No, his aphorism generators are good. He can create epitaphs on a whim, just like he's got it all.
Cool. All right. So y'all get to the bottom of the statues. You're back towards your ship. You have your diving suits. You're gonna try to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What's the plan here?
Yeah.
I'll go first, unless somebody else wants to.
No.
So yeah, in the time it takes y'all to like get on your suits and stuff like that, if you're like looking down, you can see that they've like made like a weird force bubble like around the temple to like make like a space where they could like breathe and stuff.
Okay.
So they're basically like setting up a big force bubble down there.
Okay. Well, let's get down there.
Yeah. And as this like force generator is like, it's like emitting light, and you can see that it's like attracting like sea life. It's attracting these big like electric jellyfish that are kind of like floating around it. So it looks dangerous down there. What do y'all do?
Ooh.
So that actually sounds like a really good opportunity for a group action. So a group action is when everybody rolls the same stat all at once, and one of you is going to lead the action. One of you is going to be sort of the one calling the shots to like get the team all in sync. And how this works is that everybody rolls the same stat, and amongst all of you, you take the highest number. But for every one person that makes a failed roll, whoever's leading the action takes one stress. But if you're all trying to like get through and do one big action together, that sounds like probably like a group scramble or something like that.
Maybe a skulk if we're being sneaky.
It could also be a group skulk for sure.
Not me.
Not I. I'm a doctor, damn it, not a ninja.
I mean, yeah, for a little while.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. That usually the person who wants to lead it is the person who has the most like stress to burn.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
burn. That's the more important part.
Yeah. Ask the way where to go.
Yeah, certain. I mean,
Use the way, Vanch.
Yeah, Vance just like dives into the water and just starts like, is just like, follow me, and like just like immediately sort of starts eeling his way.
Just
like,
this
down
like
the
angel-looking thing.
Yeah.
through the water.
Between two robots, a super soldier, and then just like a regular guy. I bet the regular guy probably has the most trouble here.
Yeah. All right.
yeah, no, yeah, perfect.
Okay. All right.
I'm muttering to myself about how much of a tactical clusterfuck this is already.
I mean, like the tactics of your missions have gone downhill since you've joined this crew. Like when you were like a brainwashed super soldier, everything was probably like perfect.
Oh yeah, it was like clockwork.
Yeah. But is that the life you really want?
Just killing
No,
machines.
but I do want to train these guys.
Okay, so I'll lead and everybody roll Skulk.
Okay.
And if we don't have Skulk, we don't roll, correct?
If you don't have Skulk, you roll 2 and take the lower.
Take the lowest.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
You partially succeed at least.
Oh, 2 4s.
Okay, that's good.
Ah.
I got a 5 with no Skulk.
I had a 6, but I gotta take the 2 that I rolled because
Oh,
it has no
Brutal.
Skulk.
That's okay.
All right. Advantage, that means you take 1 stress.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a partial success. So I think what that looks like is just a minor setback. Y'all all dive. What does it look like when y'all dive down? What is the like montage here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I imagine that we just kind of drop in to the ocean waters and we drift down with this gigantic ziggurat glowing, making this eerily beautiful silhouette of the 4 of us. Camera pulling back as you can see the massive seascape, like we're just like little dots floating around.
I
these
bet
other
coral
aquatic
growing
creatures.
on bismuth looks cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like one really big like sea snake with like huge needle teeth that could swallow you in one bite. That's just kind of like hunting down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these big massive jellyfish that are just releasing little like electric pulses in their like general vicinities. Oh, can you imagine what kind of horrors would like evolve on an ocean planet?
Oh, I was just imagining some gigantic leviathan, moving its silhouette, just occupying the
kind
entire
of
screen.
curling around,
Right.
waiting for something to eat.
Yeah, maybe that's my fail. Is like we're drifting down, going through the corals and cranking and moving right, and that one of those big Leviathan things come, and I'm just like, oh, curiously looking at it, but I've got like
They, like
a
grab you
spotlight
real
for
quick.
a face that glows, and Jared's just like covers it. It's like, and there's just
Stop
a
it.
dimmer, puts in
Yeah.
night mode.
Yeah.
You all get in a big hug formation and try to just like sink.
Yeah, and then head out.
Well, for the bots,
Yeah.
that's going to be easy to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the issue is, what were you gonna say?
I think Venge 9 is, for whatever reason, was built to be exactly as buoyant as a human being. We don't know why.
And I have just encounter suit because my anthropology is supposed to take me to a lot of places. It's just like there's a site that used to be a planet, now it's just an asteroid belt. Send them out. They don't need to breathe. Let them float around in vacuum and conduct their studies.
There actually is a planet like that in this setting. It's just like
Oh.
a planet that's just been blasted to hell. There's just a bunch of rocks floating around.
Nice.
The setting that comes with the book is actually really good. Usually with a lot of these like games, I like to like homebrew my own stuff, but like the stuff that Strauss wrote is awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. You know.
I got to play games with
So
him at
creative.
BBC. He's really cool.
Yeah, he's all the actual play stuff that I've seen, just amazing.
I met him on accident. I wandered into a random like walk up to a table and play a game thing at Big Bad Con. And he's like, "Oh, I'm Strauss." And I'm like, "Oh, wait, are you the Strauss that like wrote all these games that I play?" And he's like, "Oh yeah."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, y'all start to sink down. You're like getting close to this bubble, and like kind of like I described before, the bubble is being surrounded by these just like weird jellyfish that are pulsing this electricity. So you're gonna have to like do something to get through these guys.
Scramble for me.
We're gonna try to scramble it.
Well, you could do another like group action,
Group
to get
action?
through, or like somebody could like do something specific that gives all of y'all an advantage. It doesn't really matter. Like somebody could make an opportunity for y'all to just get through without doing a roll, though. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I
It's
see
just
what you're saying.
So I'm really hesitant to overuse a tune because it's too easy for it to be like a skill that does anything. But
I mean, it's a skill that does things that are specific to your class, though.
Yeah.
sure. I like the idea that like Vanch begins to emit like similar electric pulses to the jellyfish and like communicates to them by like pulsing back and forth and like calms them down so that we can slip through without them like getting upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Just like float in on this big cloud of jellies who are just like occluding us as like we like drift downward. I like that a
Cool.
lot. If people are down, people are down for that.
Yeah. That sounds like a risky standard to tune to me. No, I think that would be a single.
Vanch.
Vanch is just like, their language is so old. Ooh, ouch. I have
Oh
two and a
no.
tune, and I rolled a 2 and a 2. So
I'm the most cursed GM, I think.
you know,
Anytime I GM, my players just roll horribly. I don't know why.
I was using a dice roller. I was using the Google dice roller, which is usually fine, but I'm switching to physical dice now. Not acceptable.
Quick tangent. I just started running a new campaign of Beam Saber, which is like an anime mecha kind of version of the same game. And there's a class in that game called the Rookie, and they like start with like less abilities than everybody else, but they like grow faster. And our campaign is all rookies, and they're a group of pirates. And for some reason, the dice have been bullshit. Like,
so bad to them.
If you think about a D6, you have a 50-50 chance of getting a success versus a failure. And like I was going through all of the dice logs since we were using a dice bot, and like 70 to 80% of the dice were rolling 1 through 3s. And it's just like, how is this possible? Like I wanted these like little scrappy weirdos to like, get through, but like almost everything they do fails. And it's like really frustrating for me as a GM because I really have to give them consequences like constantly.
You guys are in the middle of a like long bad Poisson series, right? Like it's just like a general area of like dice malaise, and you'll come out of it and then things will be okay again.
All right. How do we think the way backfires on you here as you try to attune to these jellyfish?
I think that this is the like okay, I like this again, like Vanch's vice is always going to be like falling into contemplation. and I like the idea that like Vanch is like suddenly like he's like communing with these jellyfish in this weird like electrical sort of meditation, but like he gets distracted and he stops paying attention to anything else. And the weird thing that happens is, remember how I said Vanch's body had been built to be as buoyant as a person's? Mm-hmm. That's apparently like a conscious thing that he does, because as he freaks out, as he sort of like drifts away, I think his body starts getting heavier and heavier, pulling Nigel down faster. You're like,
well, Nigel doesn't have to get dragged down with you, but what I think the consequence is here, I'm going to give you a level 2 harm. And I'm gonna call it like reset or something like that. Like you go into this like meditative state, and then like you basically get like EMP'd by these jellyfish, and then your body just like sinks into the bubble on its own, and you basically hit the ground near the temple, and you're like kind of passed out.
Okay.
So you're in there, but like you took some damage, so that'll be a level 2 harm. So that it anything probably like sensory related, you're going to take a -1 die for. But you're kind of in. But the rest of your party still has to deal with these jellyfish somehow.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so y'all just see like Vanch go out there and try to like commute, and then just like blink out, and then just like sink into the bubble and crash into the like ocean floor.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You could try to use them as an anchor.
That's so good.
Yeah, let's do it.
That sounds
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
I'm here for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would definitely be a group thing if you're trying to coordinate
a
Thank
group
you.
scramble.
Thank you for turning my failure into your success. Like,
I mean, that sounds like Nigel's leading this action though.
yep.
Yeah.
It's just like a quick like grabbing onto Vange, like quick grab. You tell me. Actually, it could be it could be command. It could be
Okay.
like giving orders and being like quick on your feet. Yeah. If it's a command, though, I don't think it's a group action. If it's a command, I think this is just a single action for you. And I think people can just ride your success. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. No, command is perfect here. If you want to push yourself and take 2 stress.
Or is there a devil's bargain that we can put to him?
That is it's called something different in this game, right?
Oh, okay.
On the character sheet, it says not bargain, but
oh, you can also spend a gambit here.
You also have a gambit. That's right. Duh.
Okay, cool.
okay.
Gambit just gives you an extra die.
Yeah.
So that means we spent one of the 2 that we have for the whole party.
Okay.
Well, we can still generate more on 6s on riskies, but that hasn't happened yet. Okay, man, those 6s are just not happening for y'all.
Elusive.
Yeah. So that's a success. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to for this consequence, I'm going to start a clock. So this is something that I'm allowed to do as a GM. And the clock is a 4-step clock. And I'm going to call it a mystic ritual. So what's happening? So we get the, oh, what's that?
I just said cultists day 1. Like we're 10 minutes in, the cultists have appeared.
Yeah. I mean, the cultists were already here. The cultists were the people fucking up the situation in the first place. So yeah, we see Vanch's lifeless body drop down. We see Nigel grab on, Jiren and Q8 grab on, and you all just sink in like an anchor into this like bubble. And like, yeah, it probably like resists you at first, but then like kind of opens around you and like closes behind you as you all then hit the ground really hard because you went from like an ocean to like this weird pressurized bubble, and y'all just hit this like it's there's air, but it's like all wet. It's like you opened up a little bubble on the bottom of the ocean floor, and you're surrounded by all this. Yeah, there's probably like fish flapping everywhere, and you see this like bismuth temple in front of you, and in front of the temple is a group of night speakers, and they are all sort of like meditating in unison. And it seems like they're trying to open the door to the temple. So I'm going to start a clock of their ritual to try to get into the temple. It's a 4-step clock, and I'm going to fill it halfway. And I can continue to take this clock as consequences for your actions moving forward.
And I start to apply doctorly care to my my AI brother Vanch 9 to start taking some of that stress off of him.
Oh, did you take that move where you can make them ignore harm?
Oh, where is that? Oh, you mean combat? No, not combat medic.
Okay.
Or maybe that is combat medic. No, that's different. I got the one I got was I'm a doctor, and then I also took book learning.
Okay.
So
do you actually want to do something here? Or is that just like narration?
No. I want to try to do something to snap him out to make to just take some of the stress off of them, because I feel if they're using their corrupted version of the way to try to open the door, then maybe we can use our true way, Vanch, to to open the door.
I mean, if you open the door, they're gonna walk through it.
Yeah, we
yeah.
have to stop them before the door gets open.
Right. Oh, good.
So can you do something for my harm or just reduce my stress?
I believe. Let's see. Because I don't quite. Let's see. What does doctor do? Someone's been injured. Handle and identify substances. Do science, comfort, support, and elicit sympathy. That's doctor. Also your crew gets this. Is there a way to heal in this, or is the stitch more?
There is sort of a healing ability, but you didn't take it.
Okay.
It's patch. You may doctor somebody during a job to allow them to ignore the effects of a harm penalty.
Oh, I did not see that. And plus, which I was kind of thinking. I mean, I'm an anthropologist. It's not. I'm not that kind of.
Okay, I was gonna say that,
But-
like, since this is the first mission, if you wanted to have taken that ability instead, since you haven't used your other thing, that I would let you. But like, yeah, like, does it make sense for the character?
Or could I use the I'm a doctor, not which is the you can push yourself to roll your doctor rating to perform a different action to do so. Or I guess it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It would be a special ability. So yeah, I'm gonna take patch then,
I'm a
because
doctor, but I'm not that kind of doctor.
but I'm not that kind of doctor. Just because I originally
What you're saying is that you are that kind of doctor.
right. I'm a doctor, not a doctor. My original concept for this too was that I would be the one to help my banged up friends, because I figured we'd be in these situations. So I'm going to take patch and get rid of book learning for now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm studying mostly anthropology, and I would help out my fellow androids during away missions, but humans I'm gonna have a little trouble with. Okay, so I will go with the patch for him. You may doctor someone during a job to allow them to ignore the effects of a harm penalty.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see here. I would say there's no immediate consequences. It seems like these night speakers are focused on their ritual. So I think you're in a controlled position now.
Okay.
So that'd be a controlled standard doctor roll.
Okay. Control standard doctor roll, which I have 2 in right now. Okay. And I got a 5 as my highest.
5's your highest. Okay, so it succeeds.
Okay, cool.
So what that means is that Vance 9, you still have that harm. You don't erase it or anything, but you can ignore the minus die consequence for the rest of the mission. You're still gonna have to like recover yourself in downtime, but you're healed up for.
I truly am putting a patch where I'm just kind of basically like rerouting the neuron feeling of like. It's still there. You're just not aware of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, could you patch up my arm?
Oh,
That
yeah,
got
I guess I
singed in the explosion.
Oh, I guess I could. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You already got a partial success.
Yeah.
So what that means is that time has passed.
Right.
Oh.
The ritual continues. So it's now at 3 of 4.
Right. So we got to do something about these.
Is our play to disrupt them? That's what I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Another thing that is like totally applicable in the rule, if there's a clock that you don't like, you can spend your action to untick the clock. So if you wanted to disrupt the ritual and like mess it up somehow, you could like do a standard action to untick it twice rather than tick it forward. You know, does that make sense?
Okay.
I feel like letting them into the temple is bad. I feel.
Well, yeah. Wait a minute. Is the temple where the thing is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Light
is.
got absorbed, the
Okay.
light got absorbed into the temple.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather this not be open than the evil cultists to get to it first. Like, if we're talking of an sort of Ark of the Covenant scenario, and I think we have to like find a way to disrupt this ritual and stop it, and then we can get in instead, right? I mean,
Yeah, but we can't
I have an
we
idea.
can't open it.
I have an idea. What if
Yeah.
we take a 5-minute break?
Okay.
We take a quick bio break, and everybody can like think about like their next moves.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a 5.
Fifth.
I think Vance says, I can slow them down, but they might notice.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Are we
I
gonna
had
go?
an idea.
Sorry. Just wanted to make sure that like we had a good like transition into the game. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Welcome
Jiren.
back.
Jiren. Oh, sorry. No, I'm over. I'm over Devin. Devin, bring us back in. Sorry.
All right. Welcome back to the last stretch of our Eclipse story. Vance, you wanted to do something here?
I did. I'm just gonna let people know, like, I can slow them down, but they may notice us.
Yeah. Also, look, we should see Jiren do some cool
Yeah.
violence as well.
Remember, we do have a killing machine on our side.
You do. Well, I had a crazy idea. I don't know if we could actually do this, but what if we could somehow cause the bubble to go away?
Pretty wild idea. I bet there's like at the like apex of the bubble, there's like some sort of like metal like disc that's like generating it.
Right. Yeah, because you said they kind of were projecting it downward. So.
Mhm.
Could. I do have some hack. Could try to hack into it.
Is it hack or rig? I guess it's how we approach it, really.
Mhm.
Or
I have rig too.
explode.
Situations can be resolved in
That's right.
However you want, as long as it makes sense narratively.
Well, no, it would just flood
It would
with
just-
seawater.
Yeah, it would be a chaotic like wave event.
Are they still wearing diving suits or anything?
They probably like have suits on, but they've like taken off their like helmets and stuff.
Excellent.
Because like probably part of their ritual is some sort of like sonic element, like they're like chanting like weird
Right.
language or something like that.
You said if it was very like Lynchian Dune, I'm sure they've got to project.
This is a wild idea, and I love it.
All right.
This is insane, and I'm here for it. Let's do this.
You could also just like shoot it a bunch of times.
However you want, Jaron. I'm with you.
Yeah. That's the thing I love about these games is they like are kind of crunchy in one element, but then like any situation can be resolved in any way depending on how you want to tell the story.
How you narrate it.
Yeah. It's I like to call this system the crunchiest narrative system.
If I think that I can disable it by shooting it, yeah, I'll do that.
Totally. I mean, it'll probably get their attention, but like the hack would probably be more stealthy.
Yeah.
But getting to it will be harder since you're like in the like evacuated part at the moment.
All of us need to everybody needs to like grab onto something.
Well, if we're gonna do this, I will head out of the bubble and back into the water and then swim up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's get back into the water.
So is that the
Also, I should probably introduce another mechanic here.
Yes.
Jiren could do this as a setup action. And a setup action is when somebody does some sort of thing to then push on a benefit to the next person to do something. I think you can give them...
I see there's like 4 different styles of teamwork. There's assist, lead a group action.
These games are all
and
about teamwork.
Set up another. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just want to figure out where that was in the book real quick, just to make sure I did the rules right on it. We're a team.
Wait for it. Come on, Tars.
Teamwork, one idea. Okay, I just wanted to look something up in the book real quick.
You got it. We tay better.
Oh,
That's
Okay,
the
so
plan.
yeah, setup actions only give you increased effect and improved position. But if you wanted to
okay.
get increased effect on like fucking these guys up, that would actually be really beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a controlled position at the moment just because they haven't like detected y'all yet, because y'all were able to like sneak into the bubble.
Okay.
So like you're in an opportunity to do a sneak attack basically. And if that sneak attack is popping the bubble and like dumping a bunch of water on them, that's a pretty good sneak attack.
Dumping an ocean floor on them.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be dangerous for literally everybody in this scenario, but yeah.
Okay.
This could also be a getting out of here move. It
I
kind
was-
of depends on
I was
what you
gonna
think.
say, like, it might be if we take these dudes out now, if we just like bum rush these guys, right? They don't know we're here. We could bum rush these guys. We could potentially take them out and get into the temple. Like, you know, either we bum rush them as soon as the door opens, or we like bum rush them and I'll work on getting the door open while you guys, you know, mess with these dudes. But then on our way out from the temple, then we can pop the bubble and make sure that it's much more difficult for anyone to come in after us. But I guess after we're out of the temple, people don't really need to come in anymore. So. Fair enough. Yeah. Let's.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm. Yeah, and where does flashback come into play with this?
If anytime you have an idea for a
Okay.
flashback, nothing has to prompt it. You can just be like, "Oh, well, I thought in advance that I would prepare this for this situation." Then
Or
you
like-
can, and it depends on the complexity of the thing. If you're like, "Yeah, I arranged for somebody to come pick us up," like
Yeah.
that would be a higher stress flashback
yeah.
versus
Okay.
like something simple like
But we could have had
I
a,
don't know right off the top
a
of my head.
flashback where Jiren had set up charges on the
Absolutely.
on the thingy.
That would be I think that would be maybe a at least one stress flashback considering the chaos that was getting down here in the first place. Having
Okay.
set up something like that probably would have been pretty hard.
So the degree of like the plan of the flashback dictates
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
stress you would take in order to make it
Yeah.
a truth.
How difficult something would have been to have set up in advance tells you
okay.
how much stress you take to have done it.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Some flashbacks are free, some flashbacks are expensive,
Okay.
depending on what makes the most sense. And how does this benefit you?
Yeah. It's more that Nigel's just having a crisis knowing that he breathes oxygen.
That's
I
not
mean-
low risk for me.
Yeah.
Jiren would have trouble, but like is probably used to like holding their breath for long periods of time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all like, well, let's just see. We can keep walking around the ocean floor. Like, no, we can't. No, we can't.
All right. Since some of y'all want to get out of here soon, let's decide on something here.
Okay.
So you want me to wait until they've opened it and then?
So I guess maybe this is an attune roll from me to like piggyback on the ritual and say when to like tell you when to like to crack the the seal.
The egg.
Okay.
Crack the egg.
So yeah, Vanch will, ignoring his like the third of his mind, which is currently running like a very obscure diagnostic self routine that he's never heard of before. But that whole part of his mind has been walled off by Q804.
It's the thing that happens if you like have a PlayStation and it gets like unplugged while it's on, and then like when you boot it back up, it has to like load that bar to like make sure that nothing went wrong. After you got like knocked out by the jellyfish.
I'm gonna do a tune, and I got a 5.
Okay. What
And
was
that's
this?
a
What was this
setup?
for again?
So this is for, I think this is an assist for Jiren, because Jiren is gonna, this tells Jiren when to blow the ring. So this happens like right when the door opens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like stepping in to finish this ritual to like surprise these guys to then
Oh,
give
yeah,
an
I like
opportunity
that.
for Jiren to blow the bubble.
I like that a lot, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't really like established like a clock to like defeat these guys, but I think if you want to use that setup action to give improved effect for Jiren's thing, that we can just say like the narrative consequences of the action are heavier, and if you get a success here, it'll probably knock these guys away.
That's perfect.
Cool, but that let's see, that I think that does this is one of those things where I want to give a consequence and fill this clock, but in a sense filling this clock is actually like a benefit,
right?
Because they'll have like opened the door for you. Let's see, I think you stepping in to try to like be a part of this ritual, I think they do sort of detect you, and there is like some psychic feedback here. So I think you are going to take a level 1 harm to set this off, and we'll say that level 1 harm is like corrupted or something like that. Like the you're getting the like evil way vibes,
Yeah,
and
the
it's like
darkness.
yeah, the dark side is gripping you. So that means that if you try to do anything way related, it's going to have a decreased effect in the future. But we're kind of almost out of here, so.
Yeah, Vince sort of like their eyes like flicker back and forth, like on off for a minute, and then they like drop their hand and they're like, right now, Jiren, please.
Okay. I'm gonna use scrap and shoot it. And if can I, since I have 2 in it, if I take 2 stress,
You can push yourself.
Yeah, to push myself, am I able to roll 4 dice or just 3?
Wait. So
because I have a scrap of 2, right? Doesn't that give me 2 dice to roll? And then if I push myself,
you get 1 more.
Oh, 1 more.
Yeah.
So that'll be 3 dice.
Okay. So mark that up.
I think you could spend that last gambit though to get a 4.
Oh, we do have a last gambit.
All right. Oh, 2 6s and a 5.
Oh,
That's a crit. That's a crit. 2 6s is a crit. Great. Oh my god. I wanted to make one of these guys like a villain, but these guys are just gonna get wrecked here. Yeah, like as this is happening, you see like the cool guy with like the like neon LED mask pull out his fucking like lightsaber. Then as soon as that happens, like the bubble pops and just like water like falls on all of them, knocking all of them like out. How do y'all survive? How do you prepare for this situation?
Right.
How is everybody like holding on to dear life as this bubble fills with like an entire ocean above it? No, besides the like business digger out here, it's basically just like coral and seaweed and fish flopping around on the ground. Oh, is this a situation where then like at like Jiren kind of like runs up to the steps of the ziggurat with her gun, like ready to shoot at it, and everybody just rushes ahead. And as this water kind of caves in, everybody basically just tries to desperately dive into the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that sounds like a group scramble.
Okay.
For sure.
I can scramble some.
I can scramble.
Well, I feel like it's not Jiren leading because Jiren is specifically
Jiren's
like
ready.
the backup, popping the bubble as everybody gets in.
Wait, then.
Jiren's a lady.
No, yeah, Vance is Jenny Prom. So, but you were talking. I think Devin, you thought Mark was talking about Jiren, but he was talking about Vance leading. Vance can lead.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like, I see him as like he's like trancing out, like listening to the ritual. So I don't think he's like very tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's cute. It would like sees the pulse go off, boom, and then the things come down, and then it's just grabbing things by the back, grabbing you two by the backs of your neck.
This cool night speaker character is basically like a Boba Fett, like somebody who like everybody thinks looks cool, but like every time they show up gets wrecked immediately.
Until until we redo the story later on Disney Plus.
100%, we need to see this character again, and he needs to be like, we meet again, and we we don't. Who are you?
Who are you?
What? you fought me on Mem. Like you shattered.
And then
my
once
soul.
again with
they have a mask.
The cavern was coming down.
Yeah, they have a mask that looks like space, and there's like a glowing like digital eye on it. They like look really cool, and they're gonna get like one scene before they get washed away.
Right. Yeah.
So Devin, I don't know how much of a difference this is going to make, but I had actually swam out of the bubble, and I was still in the water when I made my shot.
Yeah. So basically, you'll be more safe than the others, especially if you like use your like little like thrusters on your suit to kind of like safely land.
Yeah.
But like everybody who's in the bubble is going to have to make this desperate action. So yeah, I think Jiren is excluded from the group action based off of the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's scramble.
Who's leading the scramble?
I'm leading I'm leading the scramble.
Oh.
Dang it. Cock.
Jesus, that's not a good one.
6 on mine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if it's a group scramble.
I got a 2.
Okay.
That's so 2 failures.
I take 2
stress.
I take 2 stress.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool. This cool nameless villain just gets washed away. Yeah, and the door to the temple has been opened. And I think the temple does start to flood. But the temple was flooded anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I guess it wasn't flooded on the inside though.
Maybe it was.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah. And as you rush in, you probably have a good couple moments before these guys like have a moment to come back and try to attack you. But yeah, as you get into this temple, you see these brilliant bismuth walls, like that sort of like oil slick effect where it's like almost black but then full of rainbow like on the like edges of it. If we had more time, I'd want to like ask you if there's like anything cool you learn about the here. But maybe you don't have enough time to like look at the hieroglyphs. Yeah, you can grab a relic and describe it to me later. But the main thing you see when you enter this temple is what looks like a glowing opalescent egg that is just kind of floating there. It looks like somebody could like, it's about half the size of one of you.
Oh God. Gotta be it.
Let's grab it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, there's no time.
Yeah. Does anybody have any gear they could like declare that might be able to help them get this out of here?
Yeah.
I think that might be. What? It says
Excuse
like
me.
disguises, voice modulation, mini cameras, thermal scanners, false thumbprints, audio filters. I don't know if that fits. So either somebody has to have an item or some kind of like way to like get out of here safely with the payload.
This feels like a good flashback. Like this feels like a flashback.
It does, yeah.
Us like talking about like, well, we're gonna need to get it out. What is it gonna look like? And we have
Right.
like people start like throwing out like all kinds of like weird ideas, and we're like, what's a system that we could take down with us that would be like that would easily conform a wide range of like physical options? And we have these like smart straps that we can just like throw over it, and they just like shoop, 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 like they like zip around it and make it easy to carry.
Yeah, maybe when you were at the like junk shop or whatever earlier, you got some sort of like
exactly.
balloon flotation system or something like that.
I was just thinking that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the how much stress is that, or and then who?
I'm gonna say that's a 1 stress flashback to have like haggled for an extra supply.
Okay.
I think either Q8 or Jiren would take that stress because y'all were the ones in that scene.
The ones doing it. I can take that stress if you don't. Yeah.
I've taken 4.
Yeah, I will take that stress. I have 4 empty boxes left.
It's all been a walk in the park for Nigel.
Isn't it always?
Well, I mean, Nigel. Yeah.
He did have trauma experiencing a bath time trauma. Yeah, I don't know, that flashback, it was very French film in that flashback.
Yeah.
But in French.
Right, yeah. And it
It is in
swirls
black and
down.
white.
And it just says "fini" at the right.
Yeah. And we see the cool Night Speaker with the mask get swallowed by the like big Leviathan thing that was like circling. Yeah, and y'all get an opportunity.
Knocking off. It's Gerard Depardieu. We're like, why is he even in this?
All I can get is bit parts now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that gives y'all an opportunity to like float out. And I think we can kind of like narrate the rest here. What you do see is when you like resurface with the egg and try to like kind of like clandestinely get it back into your ship, is a group called the Vigilance has shown up. And the Vigilance is like the Jedi, like the good mystics. And now like there's just all on like battle happening on all these like statues between like the good mystics and the evil mystics. And the good mystics are assholes too. Like if you like really look at Star Wars lore, the Jedi are like horrendous.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all have an opportunity to get out of here with this weird glowing egg. You stuff it back on your ship, which is still cloaked, luckily, and you're able to get out of the scene without any more challenges. So Ula Fane had like asked you to meet up with her kind of where she usually parks her like her like conspiracy theory truck outside the Hantu Gate. She's like obsessed with this thing, and she just kind of like sits there watching it all day and like meditating on it. So she wants y'all to meet you out there. So y'all start traveling towards the Hantu Gate to rendezvous with her. And as this is happening, y'all get a big energy reading from the storage containers of your ship.
What's it say?
It like the computers are like confused.
I'll follow.
Yeah, like you like open the door to the storage container and there's just like blinding light.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you see the egg has cracked, and
Ah.
an entity steps out of it, and it's bizarre to look at. It's kind of short. It's like half the size of like y'all, and its like head is like very smooth and sort of shaped like a cartoon cat, and it's like attached to like a weird conical body, and it has limbs that aren't really attached that just kind of like fluctuate depending on like what it needs in the moment to like ambulate or move. And every time you blink, it seems to be made out of a different material. Like, so it'll be made out of metal, and then it'll be made out of like moss, and then it'll be made out of bricks, and it'll be made out of glass. Like every time you blink, this thing like looks different.
Yeah, my processor going on overload, studying not only its movement but its makeup, and it's like, you know, like what it's made. It's like, it's not carbon based. It's not, you know, it's like,
yeah. And it like it senses all of you, and it like starts like making noise. It almost sounds like a dial-up modem at first. Like it's like trying to figure out how to communicate with you, but I think it eventually figures it out and says hello.
Nice.
Ooh.
Hello. I seem to have made it.
You did.
Okay. And then speaking to them in italicized, it says, "I have a fine bedside manner."
Oh.
So I want to speak to them as I would speak, say, to a newborn or somebody who had just come out of a coma, you know, and just letting them know where they're at, what year it is, and everything's going to be okay.
Interesting. That means I got the timing correctly. You see, I'm an atemporal being, so I don't operate on a normal timeline. So I'm glad that my calculations were correct.
I am glad too, and it's a joy to see you. What should we call you?
Let me think. Call me Numa. I fear that I do not bring joy.
How do you mean, Numa?
We don't have much time, but the entire galaxy is in danger.
Hello.
You may approach the gate, but do not get too close. Just be patient and enjoy the last moments. And I will see you yesterday, and we'll talk then.
Wait, what? Yesterday, what?
And like suddenly there's just like a weird like psychic scream almost. And I think Vanch feels this the most. And as they say, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll talk then, you see them start to disintegrate. And like there's just this like immense like way pressure that even y'all that aren't like way sensitive like feel something. And just something, and if you were to like try to echolocate it or like trace it, it is coming from within the star system. Some sort of psychic force just erupted from somewhere within this system and disintegrated this being. But you see all of you start to like gain this weird sort of quantum form where you're like almost kind of like fluctuating between like different versions of yourself in this moment. And as like your ship starts to approach the Hantu gate, you see all of a sudden a ton of ships all just like kind of blink into existence from their like warp drives, and like all out war just happens in front of the gate between the Cult of the Seekers and the Church of the Stellar Flame, and everything just becomes chaos. And then the gate opens and everything goes white. and then you all find yourselves in a diner. And you hear a voice yell out, "Hey Marv, what time is it?" And sitting with you at the diner table is Numa.
Mm.
Oh.
Oh, this time Numa's with us.
And I
Nice.
think that's where we should end.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
session.
yeah. Nice.
So you're in a time loop now.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Woo! None of our actions have consequences. Yay!
Yay. Then we come back with the food processing robot who's like,
Yeah. So a big part
Ned?
a big part of this game, in terms of like doing multiple missions is like the downtime phase. And that is like a fun thing to play out. But I think we should maybe do the downtime thing in like chat so that we can just like get back to the action in the next session. What do y'all think?
Sure.
Like downtime is fun to like role play the characters and kind of like figure out like who they are like
Right,
outside
in
of
between
the chaos.
heists. Yeah.
Or do you want to?
Or what we could do also is just like do a little bit of independent study and figure out what type of downtime things we want to do, and then just like role play it really fast at the beginning of the next session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to get more of a finally like a handle on Forged in the Dark, you know.
Yeah. I love these games. I think they have like a really kind of smooth flow to them. It can be, there's like a lot of moving parts that it can be a lot to kind of take into account, but they all just push towards like thinking of doing cool stuff to do. I don't know.
I think there's still like, you know, there's still the gun shy feeling you have when trying out a new system is like, okay, how much can I say, can I do this versus like, I'm just going to describe this and I know that this will catch me and I just have to figure out what to use to make it happen.
It's the latter there for sure. Like, it's definitely fiction first gaming where you just say like, I do this, and then we figure out what the mechanics are afterwards.
Yeah. Very nice. Thanks, buddy.
Cool. That was fun. I'm glad I could finally GM for you, Marcus.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find the persona and voice for Q8, so it'll get there. Maybe in the downtime, that's where he'll find out where he's coming from.
So hopefully y'all are cool with like a 3-act thing here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's just do. Should we do a quick round the table sign off?
Sign us off.
All right. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube for our inaugural Eclipse story, I have been Devin Nelson. You can find me on Twitter at Devin Decibel, and you should check out my band, the Y Axes. Marcus, what do you want to tell us about?
Oh gosh. Well, you know my weird fat face. So you can find me, Marcus Flores _13 on a bunch of them socials, but you can also find us at the Midway Tabletop on Twitch. You can check out a bunch of these games and more coming very, very soon on the Midway channel on YouTube. So you might even see this one there. So all the links to all that will be down below you. So thank you very, very much for tuning in and checking all this out. Mark.
Okay. And find pretty much any of us on there.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
It seems like all of us are on there except Badger, and it seems like Badger's ready to sign up.
Come on, Badger, join the cool kids.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Alexei. You can find me on Twitter at VoxXMachina. Other than that, I don't have a ton. So yeah, have a great evening. Badger, sign us off.
All right, I'm Badger. Stygian Fox coming out with a new book called New Tales in Miskatonic Valley, 2nd edition. Kickstarter backers are getting it first, and then we'll have copies up general sale.
Nice.
Awesome collection of 1920s Call of Cthulhu scenarios.
Excellent.
Neat. Cool. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful whatever unit of time is in front of you.
Or yesterday.
Or
Yeah.
yesterday.
Talk to you yesterday.
Yes.